Hi, sisters. How y'all doing today? You with Tanisha Ali, Tanisha's Locks and Beauty Tips. I'm going to be adding some other stuff to the channel too. Anyway, I'm dealing with lint today. And if y'all have watched my videos before, you know I am OCD when it comes to lint. So I colored my hair yesterday. I did this braid out. I took it out and I'm back home now. And I see lint everywhere. I see more lint than I did. I thought I had gotten most of it out, or not most of it, but I was maintaining it. Having colored it, the lint is really revealed itself this morning. And when I go outside, I can see it everywhere. Now, okay, my kids are like, no, mommy, you're the only one that can see it, but they dismiss me anyway, so I don't listen to them because they think I'm crazy about the lint. And I am, but I also see it. And once I finish taking it out, you can see the residue all over my clothes. So before I even start and tell you the 3 ways to get it out, or the 3 ways to battle it, tweezers, you might need this needle. If you go up far enough, then you'll have to, tighten the lock back up. And this, a push pin, are your best friends, and these. But before I even begin this little video, I want to tell y'all, do what you can to avoid the problem before it gets out of hand. From what I understand, these locks are lint anyway. That's what helps them to lock. It's not just the pattern and all this other stuff. They lock because they pull in stuff and your hair gets entangled. So you're going to have lint anyway. But the thing is, you don't want to see the lint. And, you guys have seen people with locks where you could see the lint impacting the lock, and it looks bad and it doesn't look hygienic. So, a couple things you need to do and be consistent with. You can't be trifling. And I kind of was, because after the first year or so, I didn't wear my satin cap anyway. But I used to cover my whole hair with a scarf anyway. So, it didn't really matter. You're going to pick up debris. But it will help if your hair is not rubbing on the pillowcases and all that. And if you sleep on the pillowcases, you choose dark colors and watch the kind of fabric. Don't try to avoid sleeping on cotton for sure. When you towel your hair, use a dark towel. When you wash your body, you dry off after you get out of the shower, stay away from light towels. Always choose the dark towels. The other thing is literally every day, and this is what's going to help you the most, always do like this. If you do like this and you run your fingers through your hair and you shake your hair, you're going to see a lot of dust and lint and maybe skin cells and a whole bunch of stuff that's just going to be coming out. Especially if you do this when you're inside your car, you're going to see lint and stuff just falling everywhere. You're not going to believe it. And you collect so much at the end of a day. Shake your hair and kind of pull back so it doesn't fall back in. But you're going to realize that if you don't do that, all of that lint is going to be in your hair. If you don't shake it out, it's going to be in your hair. I feel like that's going to be the best option for you, is just to shake each and every single day. When you shake your hair like that each and every single day, guys, let me get that real quick. I'll be right back. The other best advice I can give you is to stay on top of lint. You guys know I don't do a lot with my hair. Occasionally I'll do a braid out. I do those curl things. But as far as day-to-day styling, I don't do that much. I'm trying to learn to be more creative. But the one thing I do spend time on with these locks is maintaining this lint. I know everybody's hair attracts a certain amount of lint, and it varies depending upon the characteristics of your hair. And then the products you use can kind of make it even worse. But build-up, I think, is a little different than lint. Build-up is not a problem I have. Okay, I don't have any problems with build-up but occasionally. What I deal with is lint. So, okay, you can't see all the lint that I can see when I go outside. Makes me wish I didn't deal with this color stuff, because I got to battle lint again. But let's take a look. You see this? I'm thinking this is probably lint. And it is. I don't have to guess because I got enough of it to deal with. Now you can see this. I'm going to turn it for you. That's going to make it worse. Just look. You see how high up it is, right? I got some here, I got it here, and I got it here. This is kind of high up. A couple things I can do. My locks still tend to be open at the ends. I mentioned that to you guys as well. But you can take 2 of your fingers and you can gently begin to open it up. And as you begin to open it up, you're going to see more of the lint. So you see all that powder coming up? Can y'all see that? Maybe not. Okay, can you see that dust? Man, I can see it all over because I got the light. So you can see right now I'm just kind of teasing the hair a little bit apart. And because my ends have been dyed, and because you have locks and we keep a lot of old dead hair locked in here, you're going to lose some hair anyway. To me, it's not a big deal, because if you're not shedding hair every day and you're supposed to shed 3 to however many pieces, shedding some more lint is not going to kill you. So I don't worry about losing hair. Sometimes I lose the whole bottom amount because I just keep plucking and plucking and plucking. Okay, that's a disclaimer. You don't have to do what I do. Okay, here's another piece. I'm going to show you something else. This here, the lock is tighter. Let me see if you can see any of this. What can I do to assist this, ladies, so y'all can see more of it? Let me see. That's definitely not going to help. Dum, 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 dum. That's not working. Okay, so trust me. I know y'all can see this and that. This is tight. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I can't just go in and pick. I'm going to use my little push pin, and I'm going to gently begin to open the lock. Now, the reality is you never really get to a place. I'm going to put the lock in my hand like this, and I'm going to gently begin to pick apart the lock, starting from the bottom, going up. Again, the reality is you're never going to run out of lint. You could pick up the length of this lock, and you're going to keep running into lint, because the lock, what makes it lock is a lint, as I mentioned, is a lint. But you see all of that in there. Your object is to just get to the point where you can deal with it and get to the point where it doesn't look as bad and it doesn't reveal itself as much. As you pull the hair and tease it apart and try to get that lint out, you want to be very gentle, because you're going to have some of your hair that you're going to lose as well. The other thing that I'm mindful of is eventually, because my locks are getting longer, I'm going to cut the ends anyway. Okay, and it's just, I can't let them get but so long, because they're going to become too much to maintain. And I'm not trying to carry around a whole bunch of hair and then lengthen out my retightenings and all that type of stuff. So my ends are not that big a deal. As my hair continues to move down, I can afford to lose some hair on the bottom. So it's not that big a deal. But you see this? Now, you see more lint now, don't you? You see that? So I know I'm not going to always be able to get all of it out. I'm just trying to get enough of it out so that it cannot be seen by the naked eye. So now that I've got this out, I can decide at this point, still a little in there, maybe too much. I can decide at this point if, oh no, my speaker, I'm so sorry, guys. Oh man. I can decide at this point if I want to go just a little bit further, or yeah, I can decide if I want to let it just leave it like this. You could also twist the ends like this, or you can flat it. It's really up to you. You can flat it, which is fine. You can twist the ends like this and pull it tight, and then just let it do what it's going to do. I'm thinking most people like their locks closed, so they're going to close the ends. And most people's locks are closed, so maybe y'all don't even do anything with the lint. But if the bottoms of your locks are closed, go ahead and plait them all the way to the bottom and let them just lock up again. They definitely will. I'm going to show you another something. It's just everywhere. That's all I can say. It's everywhere, and I'm really not liking this. And I fight my battles. If it looks too bad, then sometimes I do the best I can and I just try to psych myself out. This one I was able to pull out. The other thing I want to tell you is, now I have not put any oil on my hair, right guys? Once I oil my hair, you won't be able to see it as much. The lint shows up more when you don't have oil on your hair. By putting oil on your hair, you help with some of the lint. I want to show you how to deal with it with the tweezers. Now, if I was outside, I'd be going to town. You see, this is really long, right? That's a lot. So I've got to plait that. I've got to take this out. I started picking in here. Okay, so I've got to take this out, or I can do, you know, the Sisterlock thing. I got a hole here, and I go that way, and then I pull it through this way, and then I go this way. Let's see, you got to watch what you're doing. You got to get a nice solid hole, and that wasn't a hole that I did, so. But let me see. Let me try that again. Then but they tease a little bit. I pulled that bottom out. Y'all saw it. Now it's not, may not be long enough. But essentially, and I still got some in there. I'm just forming a little knot at the bottom. This is long enough whereby if I'm careful, I may be able to get a little knot. This is just an example of what you might do if you had, and this is probably a poor explanation, if you had a lock where a lot of it, longer than a couple inches, was full of lint and you were trying to put it back in. All I did was form a little knot at the bottom, and I'm going through this little pattern of 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, so forth and so on until I build up the lock. And then at that point I can take my needle, feed this through the end, and put it through there and close it off and try to get rid of the little hole that will be in there. You really need a little bit more space than this. So in this situation, because this one is really not long enough, then I'm just going to simply plait down to the end. This will loosen up over the days and weeks. And so what you can do, and this is really a good idea so that it doesn't get too bunchy and so forth, after a few weeks, just monitor the lock, and they make themselves known, guys. Then you go in with your needle, and somewhere in that lock, you just want to, and if this is too long, you go ahead and stick it in there first. You find the place where the hole is. You stick the needle in there, and if you have the nappy lock tool and you like to use that, it's shorter, so it'll make this easier. That tool is kind of tedious for me for some reason. So anyway, I put it in there, right? And then all I did, this is my daughter coming in. Hey, Naima. Hey, baby. And so I just put this through the end like this. And then I just pull it on through. Okay? And you do this multiple times to tighten up what you plaited in. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to put the tool through. This is going to keep the lock from getting too loose. I'm going to then thread this through. Now all I'm going to do, I'm going to hold the end, and I'm just going to pull this through. That way I plaited it, and I know it's secure. It's not really coming out too easy. Okay, let's go back to this lint situation. Even I can't see it inside the house because I don't have a lot of and see, you can see my locks, they're still open in here. But these are locks I can just about guarantee you that I took out before. I plaited them, and they just are not fully closed. This is not from 7 years, not all of this. So I want to show you another one. And it's a shame because my hair is lying. Now let me go outside and I'm going to see lint all over the place. But it's just that I can't see that well in here. I'm going to find another piece. If you can use the tweezers to get the lint out, and it depends. Some of it you can't get out very well with the tweezers. Some of it you can get out much better with the tweezers because it makes it easier to reach, but it needs to be kind of out on the edge because the tweezers, you can pull your hair out very easily. So I've got a little piece of lint here. You see that piece of lint, guys? See if we can get a focus. It's right here. Tried to focus a second ago. So I'm just going to go in with the tweezer, and I'm going to try to pull it out. You have to be careful because as you pull it up like this, then you just kind of pick it out gently. Once you've washed your hair and your hair is clean and any oil residue is not inside the lock. Look at that. And see, that's pretty far up. See, I'm in trouble here because I'm not going all the way up this far. But once the hair is clean and you pull out a little piece with the tweezer, then it's easier to kind of tease it out. But when the hair is dirty, it stays in and it fights being taken out. So you end up in a situation where, or if it's very impacted, you end up in a situation where you can't just do this and get it out. So you have a couple choices. It ain't not that many. You leave it alone, you oil it down, and you try to forget about it because it's this far up, that piece of lint that's deciding to show itself. And then I have another piece here, guys. So I had to pick my battles, right? I got to pick my battles, and you're going to have to pick your battles too because, trust me, this is a never-ending kind of thing. And now this is a thin lock. If I go up in here and try to pull too much of this, I am liable, and I've done this before, to tear the lock. And if you're old like me and you need your glasses on, get your glasses so you can see. Because if not, these locks have so much damn lint. Just about anywhere you start pulling, you're going to get some lint. But, guys, I just want to tell you, use your due diligence. Stay on top of your locks. Do not let it get out of hand. If you do, you will be sorry. It is something that you have to maintain. Of all the things that I do with my locks, this is the one thing that I spend more time than anything else dealing with because I don't like to see it. If I can see it, so can others. Look at all of the lint in this. Look at this. You see that? When it's dispersed like this, I go in with this. And I just start out. And as you start to pull it, then you really will see it. Look at that. You see? You see this? This is worse. This is pretty bad. So, you know, I'm going to lose a little hair. And I really don't care because I got to get this damn lint out. And it looks horrible. So, I'm going up a little bit further. And you'll find that what actually keeps the lock locked is the lint. So the more you go up, once you hit a space where you have less lint, stop there. Because if you keep going up, you're just going to keep finding lint. It's just that simple. And it becomes like a self-defeating kind of thing because you'll continue to find lint and you'll keep picking until you pick the integrity of the entire lock. So just get it to a place where you can stop, where it's not as bad. And then take what's left of the lock, if you've taken out quite a bit, and just plait it down to the end. Just plait it down to the end and try to stay on top of it and do a better job. Now, if you guys are looking carefully, you probably see a piece of lint here and a piece of lint there. God help me. I mean, this is just... And I couldn't see this yesterday, and I'm a lint picker. I couldn't see it because I hadn't colored my hair. The color has made it more noticeable for some reason. And you can't get to all of it, but you try to get to most of it. And then I'll go upstairs later, and I will oil my hair down. And I'll try to do a better job of maintaining it, which is what I told you to do. Shake your hair and maintain it. Do not let this lint pile up. You will not be happy when you let it pile up because let's face it, guys, you got these things for a lifetime and you're gonna have to live with it. So I'm gonna make a decision what to do about the lint in here. I've got this up here, so I gotta do something about it. So I guess, you know, we try to be grateful, and we know that most of it can't be seen. But a lot of it can be, and whatever is the most obvious, like this, you just got to go in there, and you got to try to pull it out. And you got to be really gentle. And a lot of times when you pull out one piece, or you pull the hair apart, you will see even more lint. And so you whatever little pieces of hairs you pull out of the lock or pull out of place, y'all, just know that the hair will also kind of recompress on its own. It'll find its way back into the lock and it'll get tangled in again. So it's not the worst situation. But you can see when you pull it apart, you got lint. You got lint. Look at that. That makes me want to cut the whole thing off. Jeez. Look at that. That's a lot of lint, right? So I got to go in and I just got to pick it out. And you're shaking up all over the place. And if you're lucky, you pick it out and it's not as bad. And this is okay. I didn't rip the lock too much, but I still got some here I got to deal with. And you got to watch it. If you can hear yourself pulling it and you hear the hair, chances are you need to lighten the pressure some and not pull as hard. You're pulling up just a little bit, and then you are kind of teasing it out with your fingernails. Okay? Just to a level that you can live with. Okay? And it's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. So I hope that you realize the seriousness of not letting this stuff pile up in the first place, and that you shake your hair out on a regular basis. This is a pretty bad piece of lint right here, and I'm going to show you an example. This could actually be taken out with your hands. You can tease it out really easily. You'll see that it's very light and cottony, and it's just going to come right out. And this won't present a problem. But it's in there. And once it comes to the surface, it's saying, take me out. So if it shows itself and you can get at it, try to get at it, because remember, this is an ongoing thing. This hair is a living, breathing organism. So it's constantly collecting lint. And if you see the lint come to the surface and you don't pull it out, imagine that times 10 a few months down the road. It's worth it, and this is an investment. Do not take the lint lightly. People worry about slippage. They worry about all this other stuff. But if your hair tracks a lot of dust, trust me, let this be one of your main concerns. Because no matter how good your locks look and no matter how little slippage and bunching you have, if you got a bunch of cotton in them, you're going to be, or a bunch of lint, you're going to be dealing with this. Or you just have to go through with a marker and try to color the lint. And that's something else that people do too. Not too crazy about that. I've tried that a few times. I still got the lint there. So I deal with the mental part of it. I'm like, well, hell, all I did was really cover it up. I didn't really get anywhere. So shoot, I know it's there. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies. After you pull the lint, always, I repeat, always go through your hair, shake it out again. Because anything that you have pulled, there's some residual lint that is still embedded in your hair. And always try to do this. Try to do this part, the shaking out of the lint, before you wash your hair. Once you wash your hair, it's embedded. But after you wash your hair, whatever comes to the surface, go ahead and deal with it then, because it will be easier to get out. Let your hair be moist. I don't like to do it when it's fully wet, because my hair is it breaks easily when it's fully wet. I can snap the hairs a little bit, so I try to wait until it's at least a little bit, just damp. Not dry, but just damp. I deal with it then. Okay, ladies, I hope that this was a help. I know it was long, but all my videos are long. This looks like something I will be tied up with this weekend off and on when I have time to just go in, inspect my locks while I'm outside, and deal with the lint issue. And again, it's compounded from the dye. Have a great day, ladies. It's a beautiful Friday. Lots to be thankful for. You are alive. You are breathing. You awakened this morning. God saw fit to wake you up. And so enjoy your day. and live well. Until next time, keep coming back. More will be revealed. Bye, ladies.